회화 level 3 Power English.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Joe.
I'm Cameron Word.
Hey, Cam. So, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. You know, I mean, I'm kind of worried about my dog.
Why?
So he's getting fat. He's getting big.
Why?
I don't know. I've changed his food. He's on diet food now.
Wait a second, but you take him on walks.
I do.
A few times a day.
He walks, I calculated.
Oh.
He's walking an hour and a half a day, and I'm playing with him at home. I'm going to have to take him to the veterinarian. Take him to the vet.
Something's going on.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a hormone problem.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if he's just fluffy. I can't tell if it's his hair. I don't know.
Okay. You know what's a good way to do it? Give him a bath.
Uh-huh.
And then you get to see the real...
That's true.
You know, it's so funny. My dog, like he's got this kind of mustache, and he's a terrier.
Uh-huh.
But then when you give him a bath, it's like he looks like a mouse.
Yeah.
Like a
wet rat.
Like a wet rat. So maybe you might have to just get him in the water and just see. You might have to.
I might have to do that. I don't know.
Or measure him or something. I don't know. Oh, that's strange.
He's gotten his little face. Even his, you know how dogs have like the little cheeks that kind of like come down?
Right.
Even those are like getting fat. It's really cute. I like to squish him. I like to squeeze his little cheekies. He does not like it. He doesn't like it, but it's really cute.
Well, I guess there's something good about this situation.
But, you know, worrying about his health, I think I'm going to have to take him to the veterinarian.
You're going to have to get a checkup.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we are going to talk about, minor little procedures, cosmetic procedures, as we call them.
Yes.
Getting a touch-up. Don't go overboard.
Yeah.
Okay. A touch-up, when we use the word or expression touch-up, we think of makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a little touch-up.
Yeah.
Which means, add some, like put some powder on, put lipstick on, right?
Yeah.
So when you say touch-up with cosmetic procedures, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're kind of saying you're going to do a little something to your face.
Yes.
You're not going to do a lot. You're not getting like a facelift.
Yeah.
Real surgery.
Right.
But you might do, something smaller. Some fillers or some Botox.
Yeah. But don't go overboard. And that's one of our expressions today.
Yes. To go overboard, in this case, means to do too much. You're doing more than the amount that you need to do.
Yeah, that's right. Now, set someone or something apart.
So this makes them special. It makes them distinct or different.
Okay. And this is a great expression. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
I cannot imagine.
That's, so crazy to think that way.
Okay. Let's go ahead and listen to our dialogue.
Okay, so I'm going to start with fillers. I'll add some fullness to your lips and fill in the folds between the cheek and nose.
Okay, but don't go overboard. I'd like it to be subtle.
Of course not. That's what sets me apart from other cosmetic doctors.
I trust you, Dr. Kendrick. I just don't want to walk in looking like...
Like you just had plastic surgery? I wouldn't dream of it.
But I must admit that I've always wanted fuller lips.
Okay, let's begin. Dr. Kendrick says, okay, so I'm going to start with fillers. I'll add some fullness to your lips and fill in the folds between the cheek and nose.
Okay, I know a lot of people do this.
Yeah.
And, I'm, not judging. The idea of that going into my face, it just kind of hurts my face. It feels... I don't know. I realize, we say pain is beauty, right? Or beauty is pain.
Yeah.
But goodness, that is a lot to go through. But Myra is doing it because she wants to make sure she keeps that youthful look.
Okay. So I like these expressions, fullness, fill in. These are very common words that you will hear at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
It'll bring fullness, meaning like, oh, your lips are going to seem a little more plump, right? And fill in the folds, meaning like, oh, there's like a crease.
Yeah.
And
your
it's gonna,
pakta.
yeah. That's right.
What would we call that in English? Like your frown lines or your laugh lines?
That's
yeah.
I think that's what we call them. So then Myra says, okay, but don't go overboard. I like it to be subtle. Okay, this is very important. Don't go overboard.
Yes.
Okay.
So originally, to go overboard means to fall off of a ship. So whenever someone, like if you're on a cruise and someone falls into the water, they say, man overboard.
Yes.
Because they've gone over the boards of the ship. However, you can also use go overboard to mean do too much. You want to do a little, but if you do too much, you're going to fall off the ship and land in the water and
That's it.
get eaten by a shark.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go overboard.
Right.
Okay. And that seems the trend. That seems to be the trend these days. No one's getting like full on facelifts because it seems unnatural. You want it as natural as possible.
Yeah.
And the word for that is subtle. S-U-B-T-L-E. Very important word. The B is almost silent.
Yeah, I don't say subtle. I don't say the B.
Subtle. Yeah. You don't say subtle, you say subtle.
Right.
What does this mean?
This means it is such a small or detailed amount that you do not see it. So, in the case of like getting things done to your face, you don't want a big change because then everyone is going to know.
Right.
You want it to be a very small amount.
That's right.
And it can be used with these facial procedures. It can be even just with, like, you can talk about subtle differences in colors.
Yeah.
So, it's like the classic example, the wife wants to paint the wall a different color.
Yeah.
And the man is like, what? This is the same color. And then the wife's like, no, this is a different color. It's completely different. Because it's just a subtle change.
Difference.
It's a subtle difference for him.
Yeah.
But for her, it makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So, Dr. Kendrick, what does he say?
Of course not. That's what sets me apart from other cosmetic doctors.
So, Dr. Kendrick is saying about himself that actually he's different from other doctors. Okay. That's what sets me apart. Okay. What does this mean?
So instead of saying that's what sets me apart, you can say that's what makes me different. So the only difference in those two meanings of both of those phrases, I would say that sets apart usually has a positive like little connotation to it, nuance. So when he's saying that's what sets me apart, he's saying that's what makes me different in a good way.
Yes.
That's what makes me special.
That's right. I'm different in a good way from all of these other doctors that go overboard. Okay. So what does Myra say?
I trust you, Dr. Kendrick. I just don't want to walk in looking like...
Okay, so I trust you, Dr. Kendrick. I just don't want to walk in looking like. I just don't want. What is it I just don't want?
Right.
Like, what is the difference between I don't want and I just don't want?
Right.
Because there is a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just don't want is often used when you're talking about your greatest fear in a situation. So the thing Myra is most concerned about here is doing too much.
Yeah.
She would rather not have enough than do too much.
Yes.
So her biggest fear is looking like she had plastic surgery.
Right.
So that's why she's saying, I just don't want. This is the biggest thing that I'm worried about.
I really
don't want this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could say, I really don't want, but I just don't want. It's really like, really.
This is your number one concern.
That's it.
If this bad thing happens, I'm not going to be happy.
Okay. Dr. Kendrick says, like you just had plastic surgery, I wouldn't dream of it. So Myra's like, I just don't want to look like I have plastic surgery.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say it, right? Dr. Kendrick says it. I wouldn't dream of it. So what does this mean? I wouldn't dream of it.
Right. I wouldn't dream of it. That entire phrase is like saying, oh, of course not.
Yeah.
Nonsense. I would never.
Never.
Yeah. So that is, I wouldn't dream of means that's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
I would never do that.
Yeah. So this expression is quite dramatic. It's like, and you need to say it with a little bit of drama. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it.
Yeah, you've got to pull out the dream.
You
wouldn't
dream
of it. Yeah.
I wouldn't dream of it. That sounds...
It doesn't sound sincere. It doesn't sound real if you do not put the extra emotion.
Right. Okay. Myra says, but I must admit that I've always wanted fuller lips. So Myra is happy about the full lips.
Yeah, well, that's
All right,
the look.
Good for her. Let's go ahead and listen to that one more time.
Okay, so I'm going to start with fillers. I'll add some fullness to your lips and fill in the folds between the cheek and nose.
Okay, but don't go overboard. I'd like it to be subtle.
Of course not. That's what sets me apart from other cosmetic doctors.
I trust you, Dr. Kendrick. I just don't want to walk in looking like...
Like you just had plastic surgery? I wouldn't dream of it.
But I must admit that I've always wanted fuller lips.
Time for Power Note. We're on pages 64 and 65. Go overboard. It means to do too much of something. I'm going to the grocery store to get supplies before the snowstorm hits.
Don't go overboard with groceries. It might pass right by us.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is why you never go to the grocery store when you're hungry.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Never. Because you always go overboard with groceries.
Oh, definitely.
You want to buy everything. You want to eat everything. Right?
So true. Well, usually when I'm hungry, what I do is I get what I'm going to make for dinner that night, but I also like buy snacks to eat while I'm walking home.
That's right. Good for you.
No. I mean, like, it's not good because it means I end up eating more because I'm hungry. So I'm like, I'm going to make a pasta tonight. But, you know, I need some chips to eat on the way home. Oh, no, there's like pizza. Let's get a slice of pizza to eat on the way home.
So by the time you come home, you're full.
I'm full with the junk food.
I know you are hungry, but don't go overboard at the buffet. But when you go to the buffet, how can you not go overboard?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With so much food. Then don't go to the buffet.
Yeah. Buffets are meant to, like...
Go overboard.
Yes. Absolutely stuff yourself.
Okay. So we're talking about food. Go overboard with food. Also filler, cosmetic stuff. What else can we go overboard or shouldn't go overboard with?
Well, I don't know about... often, I guess, yes, it's negative to go overboard with something. But I'll give kind of a positive... example, my mom, when we were younger, liked to go overboard for Christmas. So, yeah, I mean, technically that phrasing is negative, but she would take down all the decorations in the house to put up winter Christmas decorations. Our house looked like Santa's workshop.
Oh, my gosh.
And as a kid, that's great. It's like magical. I'm sure my dad did not enjoy having to put up all the lights.
Yeah. Okay.
But, it was fun that my mom went overboard for that.
Oh, well, I think not just your mom, but a lot of Americans go overboard with Christmas and Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
People who have their own houses, like certain blocks... Certain roads, streets, they have like a contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a neighborhood near ours. They rented a radio station. You could take your car and turn it to that radio station and listen to a story as you looked outside at all the decorations in their neighborhood.
No.
Yes. That was going overboard.
That's going overboard. Okay, so we gave you lots of examples. Set something apart means to be able to... see the difference between them.
This is that 차별화 that, we always talk about.
That's right. What would set you apart as an employee if you worked here?
My ability to get people to work together as a team.
Yeah. So this is just a fancy way of saying what makes you unique and different.
Yeah.
At 7 feet tall, Antoine's height set him apart from the other basketball players.
Are there any 7-foot Basketball players?
I think.
I mean, there has to be, I guess, some.
I guess there has to be.
But goodness.
That's a little too tall.
I can't imagine. Where does he buy clothes?
Oh. You see, so, never wish for something because it might be more than you can handle.
Definitely.
I'm pretty short, but, hey, you just got to live with it. I'd rather be short than, too tall.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 6'3", 192.
Yeah.
That's already really hard to buy clothes here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I have a friend, actually, and she's quite tall. And I always admire her, height. But she's got kind of a hunched back.
Ah, yeah.
And I said, why, you should be proud of your height. And she said, well, in school, in Korea, for a girl, it was too tall.
Yeah, you don't want to stand out.
Yeah, so she kept hunching.
But I'm sure now that's what sets her apart.
It sets her apart. All right. If you wouldn't dream of something, it means that you wouldn't even consider, you wouldn't even imagine the possibility.
Yeah.
Please don't eat the last donut. I'm saving it for later.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Okay.
I never had the thought.
I would not dare.
Oh, I wouldn't.
No.
No.
And I hate donuts.
Oh, I love them so much.
We love donuts.
They're so bad for you. But they're so delicious. There is nothing good about a donut. Like nutrition?
Terrible.
Nothing.
Terrible. It's fried. Terrible.
It is,
Oh, the gooey goodness. And so in the news, they were talking about how many donuts Americans eat a year. It was mind-boggling. Okay. I wouldn't dream of leaving you stranded at the airport.
I would never do that.
I would never do that. So there is that emphasis of never ever.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
How could you think that?
Yeah. Okay. I just don't want means.
This is the thing I fear most.
Yeah.
This is the thing I definitely don't want to happen.
Okay. I just don't want anyone thinking that I'm a liar.
I just don't want to show up late for her wedding.
Yeah. It's the last thing I want.
Last thing I want.
Absolutely. Okay. Our power vocab is the word subtle.
Yeah.
Great word. SUBTLE, which means that it's hardly noticeable, just a little difference,
Yeah, you
It's
probably
very-
can't tell if you're
can't
not
tell.
paying attention.
Right. Do check out the definition on page 66, and let's thank our sponsor.
한국토익위원회에서